Last session we made the shift deeply practical by examining how reality acts as a responsive field that mirrors your mode of observation. When you identify with a limiting thought, e.g. relationships are difficult or money is hard to make, you observe reality through that filter, selectively noticing evidence that confirms it, interpreting events accordingly, and unconsciously attracting dynamics that reinforce the pattern. When you stop identifying, seeing the thought as just a thought, not truth or self, you observe more directly, without distortion. This opens you to previously filtered out possibilities, synchronicities, ease, aligned actions, and new outcomes that emerge naturally. We practice choosing one core recurring belief, labeling it upon arising, thinking, old filter, not truth. Resting in heart-centered awareness beneath it and noticing any subtle shifts in that life area. Small openings, less contraction, unexpected flow. You are asked to observe and note what appeared or didn't and bring those experiences back. Now we arrive at the most essential turning point of everything we've explored so far. If thoughts are not you, if they've been the main thing you've mistakenly identified with all this time, then the natural question arises, who or what are you, really? This isn't abstract philosophy or a nice spiritual idea, it's the single most practical question you can ask, because your felt sense of identity shapes your dominant frequency, and your frequency shapes the quality and content of your lived experience. For most people, identity is built almost entirely from thoughts. I'm someone who struggles with anxiety. I'm not good with money. I'm unlucky in love. I'm too old, young, unattractive, smart enough, etc. Each of these is simply a thought or cluster of thoughts that you believed so consistently, repeated so often, and invested so much emotion in that it solidified into your sense of self. It became the lens through which you navigated reality, even when it limited or pained you. When you cease automatically identifying with thoughts, these identity structures start to lose their grip and gradually dissolve. At first, this can feel destabilizing or even frightening, because these thought-based identities, however painful, gave you a familiar way to orient yourself in the world, a story to explain who I am and how to act. Without them, there can be a momentary sense of groundlessness. Yet what emerges in the space they leave behind is far more authentic, stable, and powerful than any thought-constructed self could ever be. You begin to discover your true identity, not any thought, label, role, story, or achievement about who you are, but the pure awareness that notices all of those things arising and passing. The consciousness within which thoughts, emotions, sensations, and experiences appear and disappear, yet which itself remains untouched and undefined by them. This awareness is not something you become or attain. It's what has always been present, quietly witnessing every moment of your life, long before you learn to overlay thoughts and call them me. An identity rooted in awareness broadcasts a radically different frequency than one rooted in thought. Thought-based identity is inherently restless and incomplete. It is always seeking, comparing, defending, improving, proving its worth, chasing validation, avoiding rejection. It needs external reality to constantly confirm its existence, value, and safety. This creates an underlying frequency of lack, neediness, desperation, and tension, one that subtly repels the very experiences, relationships, and abundances you long for because reality mirrors the broadcast. Awareness-based identity is already whole, already complete, already sufficient. It does not need to become anything, achieve anything, or receive anything from the world to know itself as real and okay. There is no lack to fill, no story to defend. This generates a frequency of inherent wholeness, quiet confidence, calm sufficiency, and open presence. Because it's not broadcasting scarcity or desperation, it naturally magnetizes experiences, people, and circumstances that resonate with alignment, ease, and flow. This isn't about becoming better at thinking positive thoughts. It's a shift in what you take yourself to be, from a fragile, thought-defined self that needs constant reinforcement to the unchanging awareness that has always been free, complete, and at peace beneath every mental story. For your practice until next session, whenever you notice a strong self-referential thought arising, I'm this kind of person, I always do that, I can't be X because I'm Y, pause as before. 1. 3 slow heart-centered breaths. 2. Gently label. Thinking. Identity thought. Old story about me. Not who I am. 3. Then, for 10 to 20 seconds, rest attention on the simple fact of being aware, not on any content, just the knowing presence that is noticing the thought. Feel into the quiet space that holds the thought without being defined by it. You might sense it as spaciousness, aliveness, stillness, or simply, I am, before any description. 4. Notice. Does the thought lose some of its stickiness? Does the body soften? Does a subtle sense of okayness or freedom appear, even briefly? Throughout the days ahead, whenever you catch yourself defending, explaining, or protecting who I am, internally or out loud, use this as a cue to return to awareness in this way. No need to force a new identity. Just notice what's already here beneath the story. Observe any moments where life feels a little less effortful, less needy, or more naturally supported, even in small ways. Jot down a few notes about these experiences, or the absence of them, and bring them to our next session. We'll explore how this shift in identity is already beginning to change the frequency you're living from, and what reality is reflecting back in response.